Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Telecast Saving. I'm Miracle Angala. You're watching a conversation about Emmason, who was banned from traveling internationally and locally using Nigerian Airlines by the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo. Endeavor to watch to the end. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, subscribe, like, comment, and share your thoughts. Don't miss trending videos.
Good morning to everyone watching right now. Thank you for starting your day with us. We start what's trending today with what feels like reactions from the entire country to comfort Emmason, the female passenger who, according to eBomb Air, was removed from the airline after she refused to switch off her phone. And in a post on X late last night, Minister of Aviation Festus Keyamo made some key points related to her case. 1. She's now subject to an indefinite ban from airline operators of Nigeria, meaning she can no longer travel locally or internationally with any of the major Nigerian airlines. Number 2, she was charged to court, but is now in Kirikiri Correctional Center. For context, that's a jail in Lagos that's been known for some overcrowding. And 3, he has directed airlines to, quote, train and retrain their staff in public relations and how to deal with potentially explosive situations in order to defuse them or promptly nip them in the bud. But as that statement was released last night, Peter Obi released his own statement, calling out what he says are double standards with regards to K1 incident, the musician who recently had his own altercation with a value jet airline. And in a new message out just this morning, Obi says it's a tragic irony that a young lady in her 20s can be banned for life while we, her parents, commit worse crimes against humanity and are celebrated. Those in positions of authority perpetrate greater offenses that harm the nation deeply, yet move freely in comfort, shielded from consequences. So both OB and the Minister of Aviation also talked about how unacceptable it was to film the indecent exposure of the woman in the video. So taking all of these elements together, I'll start with you, Vimbai. How are you seeing the story today? Because a lot has changed in the 24 hours where we first talked about it just yesterday.
Absolutely. Let me start with the indecent exposure, so when we took the story yesterday, I'd watched the video very quickly because I think the video started circulating while we were on air. So I kind of just browsed through it, hadn't sat down to watch it in detail. Once I got home, I sat down and I watched it in detail. And I was just concerned at the fact that it seemed intentional. When her T-shirt was pulled back like that. But beyond that, just the manhandling around it. And I intentionally use the term manhandling, not to say that even a man deserves to be handled in that way. But it almost felt like we're not prepared for these types of crisis situations in the aviation industry. If you compare what happened with Quam 1 and you compare with this, they're total polar opposites. But it shows you that there isn't these incidents show that there isn't a real capacity to handle these situations with the right level of discipline. Whether it be the discipline to ensure that a high-profile passenger is diligently and expeditiously escorted away from a situation, or whether just an ordinary passenger is also carried out with her dignity intact. Because yes, she was wrong. Yes, she is guilty. However, that doesn't mean that her human rights should be stripped away from her. So I know they've said that the person who took the video and posted it should be sanctioned and so forth, but that's really a slap on the wrist, because she has been exposed and nothing can compensate for how her whole body has been exposed to the world without her consent. So that in itself is very unfortunate. Now to the issues around the differences in treatment. I'm sure Kwamwan, you know, when he saw this and when he saw blow up, he just thought, oh my goodness, I was a really lucky man, and then this had to happen, because he'd almost gotten away with it. You know, the conversation was going to die down. We were going to forget about it, and I'm sure we were going to bump into him on an aircraft sometime very soon. But now this has highlighted the fact that these are security situations. What I was saying earlier is, what happens when you are confronted with a passenger who is not in their right state of mind, who has bad intentions, who has intentions to harm people? It shows that we're not ready for these situations. And we also have to be careful in how we follow up this situation, because all of those people who plan terrible atrocities, they are watching. And unfortunately, they're attracted to these kinds of things. So this is a call for FAN, for NCAA, for the airlines, for passengers as well, to just respect the rule of law where air travel is concerned. I say the airlines because sometimes the airlines can also provoke you. So all in all, everybody just needs to be called to order. We need a system reset, and I hope these incidents can be what catalyzes us to do so.
Dr. Abati.
Okay, can I deal with the what I consider the substance of the matter that many commentators have expressed concern about, which is the lack of proportionality in the treatment of the two personalities that have been involved in this matter within the space of 1 week. One, August 5, the other one, August 10, 5 days later. Now, you had Kwamwan. In the case of Kwamwan, he was given a 6-month suspension, no-fly ban for 6 months, with the allegation that, okay, investigations are still going. The pilot was given a suspension of a license for 6 months. In fact, Kwamwan will have escaped totally if Festus Keyamo, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, did not step in to say, no, what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. And if you are going to sanction the captain of the aircraft, you will also sanction the affected personality who disrupted operations. But 5 days later, before then, Kwamwan had apologized. And some people, his fans, were saying, to err is human, to forgive is divine, he should be forgiven. He himself was a record. Everybody turned the thing into an opportunity for amusement, with memes, with all kinds of things. But then, the implication occurred on August 10, with regard to Miss Comfort Emmason, that's her name, of the lady involved in the matter in the Akwa Ibom, or the Ibom flight from Uyo to Lagos. The story is that she was asked to switch off her phone, and she refused until an announcement was made by the pilot, and then another passenger snatched the phone from her and switched it off. They landed in Lagos. In Lagos, there had been conflicts during the flight between her and the cabin crew, particularly the purser. And then the crew said she would not go down from the plane. They called security, to arrest her or whatever. In the process, she was treated in a way that looked like they were dragging her, they were dehumanizing her, and that is what is being shown on the screen. Eventually, she was taken to Kirikiri Hotel. This is the point about the proportionality. Kwamwan, who is a big man, got away lightly.
Kirikiri Hotel.
Is it Kirikiri Hotel? Kirikiri. Oh, Kirikiri prison. Well, it became a hotel for somebody. Oh. That's the source of the confusion. When Portable was taken here, we thought he was in a hotel. But in any case, she was taken to Kirikiri to be arraigned subsequently. The Airlines Organization of Nigeria, AON, they slammed a lifetime ban on her for life. Complete ban. And then, of course, in all of this, the first matter is to look at the proportionality of the matter. The big man syndrome. The big man gets away with murder. The small person gets away with punishment. this does not justify the behavior of either Quam 1 or Quam 2, as Ms. Comfort Emmason is now known. Now, I want to say that Ms. Comfort Emmason has been unfairly treated. She has not been given the right to fair hearing because we have not heard from her. So, what is her side of the story? And then she's been given a lifetime ban by Airlines Organization of Operators Organization of Nigeria. Okay, did they listen to our own side of the story? And it's a total ban. Where is the opportunity for redress or for revision? So there is also a problem there. And I think Ms. Emmason and our supporters, they should proceed post-haste to a federal high court to say that our rights have been violated under sections 35, 36, and 41 of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria. Section 41 guarantees freedom of movement. And then exposing her and treating her in that manner amounts to dehumanization and torture, and exposing her vital assets. That amounts to, dehumanization. And that's why I take the point about how these airlines, their staff, require training in terms of how to relate to passengers. There will always be mad, misbehaving passengers, but they still have to be respected. They still have to be treated with dignity. There are better ways in which Ms. Comfort Emason's matter could have been handled. And I hope that this explanation will give comfort, not just to comfort ourselves, but all the persons who have been arguing that we live in a country where what is good for the goose is not good for the gander. And Festus Keyamo, the minister, who brought up this issue in handling the case involving Quam 1, should be reminded that in this case too, the principles that he defined also applies in this case.
Yeah, I think Rufai, very quickly.
In all we do in this country, I remember your app this morning, we try to treat the symptoms, not the root cause of the problem. Are you surprised that an airline will not manage the issue properly? Are you surprised that there's a repeated action, that 2 airlines, 2 incidents have happened and they've mismanaged it? So it's a pattern in Nigeria. And are you surprised at the level of high-handedness by people that are said to be bigger people in society? It's also a pattern. And that's why I keep going back to the point that culture will eat strategy for breakfast. And there's a culture where some people get away with things and proportionality is not meted out. Are you surprised that the Commissioner of Police was quick to charge her to court in the first place? And in the same breath, the Commissioner of Police in the FCT was not quick to charge K1 to court. So it's a reflection of the systems we have been able to build. And the problem is when you build systems like this, it's just a matter of time. It comes crashing down like a chair. And the problem is when it crashes, we start to now analyze the symptoms. When the chair falls down, we start to analyze the symptoms without looking deeply into what caused it in the first place. So it's easier for the aviation minister to say train and retrain. The question is, where is the manual at which you handle a situation like this now? As we speak, there's a training manual. Where is the manual? In a crisis like this, what are the 2-3 things you'll do? Can this airline show me that manual? When you, even in a situation where you have a plane jacking, where is the manual of how they can suppress? Where is the manual of a quick call of a security personnel? What's even the training of the security personnel on ground? Because in all of this, I only saw 1 policeman on ground though. Correct me if I'm wrong. Were they more than 2? In the end, it was still the airline's members of staff that pulled her in the car. They were the ones that effected the arrest. It wasn't the policemen. Or those men that were wearing the airline jackets, were they police officers? No.
Ground personnel.
They were ground personnel. Was there a female officer that could have done that job there? No. Secondly, And I will go back to the positions that were given. Dr. Abati, you are the one that quotes law. Legally, can these people, I'm talking about the Airline Operators Association, place a lifetime ban? Wouldn't it be challenged in courts?
It can be challenged.
It can be challenged in
That's just what I
courts.
said.
So unilaterally, they've quickly placed a lifetime ban. I should think that there are lawyers amongst them. And that was the argument Obani was making this morning. I should think that there are lawyers on them. You are quick to place a lifetime ban. Where is the place of the courts? So in airing, those bodies, including up to the rank of the minister, we became judge in a country where there's a court of law. Another violation. So you see, what has happened in this today is symptomatic of the system of Nigeria. We have not heard that the court has created any ruling. And we are the ones that say you are guilty until you are charged. So until you are found guilty, the court has not made any ruling. We have quickly portrayed guilt on this woman and banned her.
No, but she can go to court.
So
She can
there are
insist
many
on
loose
her fundamental human rights.
So there are many loose ends in this, which is symptomatic of the problem of Nigeria. How do we fix it? We need a cultural reset. The cultural reset will have to annoy a lot of people.
All very
My
good
point
points.
is that the administration of justice should not be selective. One law for everybody. And the state must be seen to be fair to
It's a cultural
everybody.
problem.
All very good points for a very big story. We'll keep watching it.